You wake up early because the air in your room feels off. London mornings usually carry their own mix of smells: coal smoke drifting from chimneys, damp stone from the night air, maybe the faint sharpness of horse manure from the street below. Not pleasant, exactly, but familiar. The kind of thing you stop noticing after a while. This morning is different. You open the window expecting that usual rush of cooler air from the river. Instead, something thick drifts in, sour, heavy, almost sweet in the worst possible way. For a moment, you assume it must be something nearby: a drain outside, maybe a cart passing through the street. Cities always have little smells like that. But when you step outside, you notice people walking past with handkerchiefs pressed to their faces. A man delivering bread pauses halfway down the street and turns from the river, trying not to breathe too deeply. Down by the embankment, a few boatmen wave their arms at the water, arguing loudly. You move closer and look out across the Thames. The river seems darker than usual. Its surface barely moves, a slow, sluggish drift under the summer sun. It's hard to say exactly what's wrong, but something is. And the smell, it seems to be coming from there. London, 1858. The richest, most powerful city in the world. Ships arrive from every corner of the globe. Railways stretch out like spokes on a wheel. Money moves faster than almost anywhere else on Earth. And yet, this morning, the entire city smells like sewage. Because the river running through London is quietly carrying the waste of millions of people. What no one realizes yet is that this smell, thick, sour, impossible to ignore, is only the beginning. Within weeks, it will grow so strong that even Parliament struggles to function. Clerks hang cloths soaked in chemicals over windows. Some members suggest abandoning the building altogether. But that moment hasn't arrived yet. Right now, it's just a strange smell, something people complain about as they pass each other in the street, something boatmen curse while tying ropes along the riverbank. The real problem, the one building quietly underneath all of this, has been growing for decades. Most of the city hasn't noticed. Not yet. As summer deepens, the heat presses down on London. The Thames starts to shrink. The wide brown water that usually carries everything downstream begins to crawl. What's left behind doesn't drift away. Waste collects along the edges. Dark streaks appear near the banks. Floating scraps cling together in the sun. Day by day, the smell grows stronger. People notice it first along the waterfront. Newspapers write about it. Residents hang cloths soaked in chemicals over their windows. Boat crews struggle to work on the water. Shopkeepers near the river keep doors half closed. You can walk several streets away and still catch it. It settles over the city like a fog. Even inside the Houses of Parliament, the air becomes unbearable. Members hold handkerchiefs to their faces while debating. Still, the smell seeps through. Years later, people will call this summer the Great Stink. But the smell isn't the start. It's the final warning. The river didn't turn foul overnight. The conditions for this moment had been building quietly for more than half a century. To understand how London reached this point, step back to the start of the 1800s. London is already large, but what happens over the next 50 years isn't fully planned. Factories expand. Work becomes easier to find than almost anywhere else in Britain. Railways connect the city to towns and villages across Britain. People arrive looking for opportunity. At first, it's a trickle, then a flood. Around 1000, roughly 1 million people live in London. By mid-century, that number climbs past 2.5 million, the largest city on Earth. Entire neighborhoods appear in what feels like years. Rows of new houses stretch across land that had been fields. Builders focus on speed. Streets go up quickly, homes packed closely together. The city grows outward and upward, but one thing doesn't grow with it: the system for handling human waste. For centuries, London relied on small, simple solutions. Most houses have cesspits, brick-lined pits where waste collects until someone comes to remove it. Drains from kitchens and yards often led into ditches or channels that eventually reached the river. Now, millions live here. Every day, they produce waste that has to go somewhere. Pits overflow, waste seeps into drains and gutters. Slowly, it all heads toward the Thames. Walk through London in the 1850s, and it looks busy, crowded, alive with movement. Carts rattle past, shop doors swing open, children run along the edges of the road. Nothing immediately tells you the city is struggling beneath the surface. To handle the worst, London relies on night soilmen. After dark, they move through the streets with carts and lanterns, climb into pits, scoop waste into barrels, and haul it away. Slow, dirty work, one of the least desirable jobs in the city. Even they can't keep up. By mid-century, the city produces more waste weekly than anyone can remove by hand. People look for shortcuts. Many households simply connect drains to the nearest channel leading toward the river. Over time, thousands of small drains empty directly into the Thames. The river absorbs it all. The strange part, most people rarely notice, is that the Thames is still the source of London's water. Cargo ships move along it, barges drift past loaded with goods, wharves unload shipments. Water companies also pump it directly into homes. They drink it, cook with it, wash in it. By mid-century, the river carries everything the city wants to get rid of. Human sewage, chemical waste, blood, and animal remains, all mixing in the same sluggish current. The water thickens with contamination. As the summer of 1858 approaches, the system quietly becomes fragile. Once the heat arrives and the river slows, everything begins to break down. Then the summer hits, not just warm, but unusually hot, the kind of heat that settles over the city and refuses to move for weeks. Windows stay open late, shopkeepers wipe sweat from their foreheads. But the heat does something else. Less rain upstream slows the river. In some places, it barely moves. Everything inside lingers. Waste that normally drifts away collects along the banks. Floating debris clumps in the sun. Day by day, the smell grows stronger. It settles over the city like a fog. The moment that finally forces attention arrives at the heart of government itself, the Houses of Parliament. Years of warnings ignored. Now the crisis is here. Responsibility falls to engineer Joseph Bazalgette. He already has a plan, an unprecedented network of intercepting sewers to catch waste before it reaches the Thames. Large tunnels, pumping stations, more than 1,000 miles stretching beneath the streets. Construction begins. Trenches dug. Brick tunnels assembled piece by piece. Slow, difficult work, sometimes dangerous. Years pass. Gradually, this system begins to work. Waste, once flowing straight into the Thames, is diverted underground. For the first time, the river and the city's sewage are separate. Cholera outbreaks grow less frequent. Water drawn from the Thames becomes cleaner. The river itself recovers. Other cities in Europe study the system, determined to design similar networks. Modern urban sanitation begins spreading. Most of Bazalgette's work remains invisible. Tunnels running quietly beneath streets, markets, parks, homes. Even today, large sections still operate. If you walk along the Thames now, it's hard to imagine that history. The river flows calmly. Tourists lean over railings to watch boats drift by. The air smells ordinary. But beneath the streets, Bazalgette's tunnels still guide the city's waste away, just as they were designed more than a century ago. London didn't suddenly become cleaner in 1858 because people understood sanitation. It changed because the smell became impossible to ignore. Once the city could no longer pretend the problem wasn't there, someone finally built a way to carry it away.